I am here to introduce some most important people in present times, and I'm not wrong in saying that all these faces here would be the largest contributors to the temple economy. When we look at the temple economy, it's a big thing. We have someone by the name of Sandeep Singh ji, who's primarily the person who's coined the temple economy, elements in more details. And I would like to take this opportunity to individual, everyone here, you've been introduced before I just came in, so I won't repeat that scenario again. But the larger interest is, we will go with a format of 6 minutes of your speech individually. आप क्या करते हैं, आपका बैकग्राउंड क्या है, आप काम क्या करते हैं, मंदिर आयोजन के संदर्भ में या टेम्पल इकोनॉमी के संदर्भ में आपका विषय क्या है. So we'll do a quick round of introduction and then we'll have our set of discussion. So with that, sir, Sandeep ji. So I think Kiran ji would primarily start. It's already live. चलिए.
All right. Thank you so much.
Guys, मेरे को पता है कॉफी पीना है सबको. कॉफी किसने पी है? कॉफी कितने जनों ने पी है? सबने? ताली बजाओ फिर. हाँ जी.
I think ये ताली बजाने का चक्कर बहुत ज़्यादा है. But it's absolute honor to be here. मेरा नाम किरण शिंदे है. मैं पिछले 20-22 सालों से ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हूँ, लेकिन भारत आता जाता हूँ. मेरा काम बहुत ज़्यादा तीर्थ क्षेत्र विकास इस विषय पर है, जहाँ रिलीजन, culture, religion, heritage, and all of this connected to the place we live in, which is our sacred sites, pilgrim towns. So I work on bringing together all of this on city planning scale. Matlab, how do we really develop our sacred sites in a way they are sustainable? So I've been a researcher and I work in a lot of applied research. I've written 5 books and about close to 80 articles on research across the world on how religious tourism needs to be managed, needs to be promoted, needs to be regulated, and needs to be understood. I think the biggest challenge we have today is we are far from understanding what is our heritage. So I can talk about this for ages. I've talked about this in almost 50 countries, but I'm going to stop here and let the discussion proceed if that's all right.
Namaste everyone. My name is Badrinarayan Gopala Krishnan. I'm an economist and I've been based out of the US in Seattle. I'm working with many governments and international organizations and private sector bodies across the world. And in 2021, I moved to India to serve Niti Aayog as the head of trade and commerce, international cooperation, and vision of India 2047, Viksit Bharat. So I was working on this, and then I'm still continuing to work with Niti Aayog as an honorary fellow. And I've been mostly my research and consulting and advisory has been on economic policy in general, international trade, environment, sustainability, development, and so on. But from a strategic point of view, I am also working on technology strategy, policy, and so on. In terms of temple economy, I am nowhere as qualified as our co-panelists, but I have a personal interest in that, hailing from a religious family like most of us here. I've been doing some work on comparing religious tourism and the temple economy or the economy surrounding the religious heritage, monuments and so on in different countries. Looking at countries like Saudi Arabia, Vatican City, Israel, and also looking at India. So in this context, looking at how the supply chain, the ecosystem, and the tourism, the infrastructure, and so on, how are they working in tandem with each other. So look forward to discussing more. I don't want to talk too much about myself. Let's start discussing about the topics. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. My name is Prashant Sachan. I'm the founder of an app called as Shri Mandir. Shri Mandir app is the largest app in the world for Hindu devotees. We started 4 years back, and right now we have 3 crore registered users. Now, I would want to, thank you. I would want to bring your attention to one thing. India as a country might not have the best physical infrastructure, which means roads, networks, and so on, but we as a nation have the best digital infrastructure. In the last 15 years, this country has leapfrogged. Now, when you think about food, you think of Zomato, Swiggy. You think of grocery, you think of Zepto, Big Basket. But think about this. There is a very essential behavior that ties us together, which is our culture, our faith. Can you think of a digital platform that provides you all the information, all the services in one place? That's what we are trying to do. And we can do this with the help of the temples here. These temples have been the foundation on which our culture and our practices have been built. And we are taking that task of moving a lot of things that you stand for online, ensuring that the values remain intact. So our contribution to all of this is, can we move the foundation of this culture, which is our temples, and connect their devotees and their services digitally? That's what we're trying to do. I would be happy to participate in the further discussion. Thank you so much for having me here.
I'm Sandeep Singh from Mumbai, advertising media guy turned author. Passion is Indian business history and Indian way of management, and hence temple economics is a very important part of Mandir economics. And I must tell you that why I wrote the book. That's a very interesting. I started writing during COVID, and I saw people walking back from Mumbai and different parts. So Mumbai to Gorakhpur is 1600 kilometers by road, by train. By road it will be slightly more. So I asked my friends, lot of them run marathon, and will you walk all the way? You know, they said no. So I was wondering that what gave people that confidence that they can walk, and not walk alone, but walk with the wife, with the kids, with the parents, with the belongings. So where does that confidence come, that where will I stay, where will I eat food, all that? And barring 3 or 4 people who died in an unfortunate road accident, everybody reached home safely. Nobody was looted. So that confidence, one is that I can go to the nearest mandir and I'll have a stay and I'll get my food. That's the temple economy or mandir I need. And the second part was that what made him that conviction to walk. The guys who run marathon were not willing to walk, because we Hindus walk. Amarnath Yatra, we walk. Vaishno Devi, we walk. You know, Ganga Sagar, we walk. Shabrimala, we walk. And that's how you will find that people who have gone to Kumbh, there is a certain section who crips, the other section does not crips. So my cousin from my village went. So Gorakhpur is, and my place is almost 400 kilometers from Prayagraj. So I said, how long you took to come back? He said 2 nights, 1 day for 400 kilometers. Oh, I said, so, oh, it must be huge, painful. He said, no, who says so? We all were in bus together, we had bhajan, satsang, and we came back, we enjoyed the trip. So that is what bhakti is. The bhakti is not that you have a money, you fly down, buy a ticket, do a VIP darshan and come back. In fact, I have a strong objection to the VIP darshan that we have. It needs to change drastically. Who is a VIP? VIP is somebody called Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who says, मैं पूरे काशी मंदिर को सोने से मढ़वा दूंगा. He covered the Kashi Mandir with gold. Somebody like that, or a Kothari brothers family is a VIP who gave up their life. Or the poor people, any parent, I say that who has 4 kids or more, they are the VIP, because that mother has taken pain to give birth to 4 kids. That father has taken responsibility to bring 4 Hindu kids. The guy who have 1 or 2 kids, they have saved on money to do VIP darshan, but they have not contributed to the society. So we need to look at the whole mandir system very differently.
So when we look at the temple economy in a big way, we all talk numbers. Here are the people who talk about the economy, they run the economy, they are actively influencing the economy. But at the same time, there is a huge case study that Bharat Bhumi is presenting to the world. So when we talk about the Kumbh Mela, which we are all a part of right now, and we've been celebrating it for the past a month and plus, how do you think, Sandeep ji, the Kumbh Mela is, it comes once in 12 years. And how do you think it is impacting not only the Uttar Pradesh government and the region of Kumbh, but also nationally?
Yeah. So we must understand, and thank you so much for asking this question, because if you look around, we have different fairs. So there will be some festivals where people come from the local area. Then there will be some festival where people will come from the whole state, like Pandharpur Yatra or Gad Mukteshwar. And then we have something called nationally where people come from all around, which is Kumbh, which happens in 4 different parts. So the idea behind that initially when it started was that there will be churn in the whole of economy. When you walk, even now today a lot of people walk, you spend a lot of money on the way. So everybody gets money. So just to give you an example, 60 crore people went to Haridwar in Kanwad Yatra. And it's a very tedious process. You walk down, you don't
60 crore.
60 crore. Just imagine if they spent 500 rupees each, the amount of money distributed in the district of Haridwar. And imagine if the government has to give that much kind of money, the amount of money will be spent on administrative setup, 50 to 60%. So it's such a beautiful way, Kumbh. Apart from that, we have been seeing people on the train are going from all over India. People are coming from abroad. Everybody is making money. But I have another angle to it. Talk to the people who have gone to the Kumbh and taken a bath. My friend Amol was here, his daughter. He asked, so much of pain, how did you feel? She says, no, once you had a bath in Gangaji, everything is forgotten, you feel spiritually blessed. So can we put a monetary aspect to everything? When you go to Kumbh, you feel what Bharat is. People next to you, irrespective of caste, class, sect, take bath, talk to each other, share everything. So this is something cannot be measurable. The government officially has invested 25,000 crores, center, state and private. The return is expected 2.5 lakh crore only for the UP plus. But can you put that value to that Samaj, the whole civilization, Hindu civilization have got together, the regeneration, it's a priceless.
I have a question here for all of you. How many of you all visit a Kula Devata temple or a Kula Devi temple once a year? Most of us, right? Now, there is a trend of international tourism. We earn money in India, wherever we stay, and then we go to a Singapore or a Malaysia or a Dubai and spend money there. Olden days, we were told that in a year at least, we should go to the land of our Kula Dev or Kula Devi, spend the kind of time there, also the money, and engage into an activity. Don't you think so, Kiranji, that this is one of the ways where we were actually putting in the money in our own economy, and that was the other way of saying that it is a mandatory thing for you to go there? What is your opinion?
It's a very interesting question and more relevant for someone like me or Badri because we live outside the country. So I think it was not intentional, but it just came out like that. I'll tell you, the answer is in 2 parts, and following on from what Sandeep ji mentioned. So the Kumbh Mela thing, because I want to bring it back to the same idea. See, the Kumbh Mela travel or any religious travel for all of us is more of a cultural identity issues rather than an economic issue. And I'll explain this a little bit. Many people who go stay abroad for a very long time, their families are here back in India. They want their son to come. In fact, when the son was going abroad, they did a puja in his name to the Kuldevi. Correct, Badri? Because he went to another country, earned good money, now he's settled, they want to get a daughter married to him, but come back to Kuldevi to take Prashad. Now that he's got marriage done, now they want a child. So for getting a child in the US, they are making worship in Kuldevi's mandir. So all of these are ways to keep connected to the identity. What is your identity as a Hindu? And that is where when you go and stay abroad, the trend now is we want to come back to the homeland. So it goes beyond the idea of country. It goes to, I need to see my God. I need to see the God who blessed my kul, my entire lineage. And therefore, if I have to offer something, it should be the best quality. And therefore, the economy, the material culture that comes with that offering. So for example, I come from a very small village in Satara, obscure. When my village temple was being renovated, everybody's expectation was, oh, Kiran sir to stays in Australia, he should give lots of money. Well, everybody was giving 10,000, I had to give 1 lakh. Obligation. But more than that, now my village says he is the son of the village. I think there is a much bigger dimension than just economy to our connection with temples, to our connection with identity. Thank you.
So largely when I say this, I think before coming to you, Badrinarayan ji, I would want to ask this question to my friend Prashant ji here. Prashant ji has created a brilliant app where sitting at your place wherever you are in the world, you are in a position to do a pujan in any of the temples with a click of a button on your mobile. At the same time, he is doing brilliant work in creating digital communication around all these important places where history, content and information about this is put in a large way. Now, when we are talking about the temple economy, there is humongous amount of interface that happens. We understand you have also been a part of the Kumbh Mela and you also participated. Reason I am keeping the emphasis of this discussion being temple economy but case study as a Kumbh Mela, because there is a lot of money that has been pumped in the system. Do you think it is helping the economy? Do you think the participation is only from metros or also from small towns? And what is your opinion about the temple economy journey India has taken off on?
So I'll take it in two parts. I think all the people who are here should consider the information part very, very seriously. I'll tell you why. Imagine you have a temple and 10,000 people come to a temple every single day. For them to stay connected, it is very, very important for them to understand and imbibe the importance, significance and value of that place. Now what happens is when most of these people would go there, the information is a mismatch, absolute mismatch. If you, and there's a survey, what we did was we actually sent our team and tapped on the shoulders of people in one temple in Ayodhya and asked them that how many of you guys know how old is this temple? Giriji guessed the answer. We did survey with around 98 people. I think hardly 4 or 5 people were about right. Now these people have queued up for 2.5, 3 hours to do a darshan, but none of them knows the history of the place. So what's very, very important for you, for everyone here, is to get the history and significance right. Because once that sets right, people will be able to attach themselves with that value system. And if they are able to attach and associate themselves with the value system, they'll contribute. They'll make sure that the temple is maintained, all the campaigns of the temple, be it Gau Sevas and all not, people will go and support it. So my point is, when we think of temple economy, we should think of not temple economy but temple communities. Can we create communities which believe in that shrine and there is a way for them to continuously be in touch with them, be it digital, be it physical? You all know that the person will not come there more than once in a year, once in 5 years and so on. Hence, we have to think of a holistic way where we can build these communities in a beautiful way. And if these communities will get made, Girishji, none of the temples in this country will suffer from shortage of funds, is what I can give in writing.
So the larger side of the story is when we talk about case studies. We have 2 of our friends, where I want to go to Badrinarayan ji and ask. Niti Aayog is a very big thing for India. You are at that level where macro and micro both has been looked up in detail. The kind of experience, knowledge that you have on the said topic, how does large level of planning help the grassroots? A lot of temples here are the temples who are not only the top 200 temples, but they are the ones who are 20,000 temples who are a mass, where the footfall is good. What are the changes, and this question is for all of us, what are the changes that you recommend or suggest in the coming times that by correcting ourselves by that 1 degree or 2 degree, we would be in a better position to add greater value to the economy? They say that when a flight takes off, to go towards Delhi, if the pilot changes that angle by 3 degrees, we may end up going to Lahore or something like that. So point is here, what are the right changes we need to do and not going the wrong way? What are the right changes we need to do to empower this economy and empower the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of Viksit Bharat?
Thank you, Giresh ji. So, one of the pillars of Viksit Bharat going to 2047 is connecting with the cultural heritage. Right? So, we have to make use of the cultural heritage to march towards that Viksit Bharat journey. So, that is an explicit part of the vision. So, having said that, there are many things that need to be done. One is that today morning, Annavalaji talked about the government interference in the temples, right, in Tamil Nadu, where I come from. And that's an important issue. Like when the government gets too much into the temple management activities, and so much so that they became the owners, what happens is over time, a lot of corruption happens, and a lot of that land that was owned by these temples, went out, and nobody knows where they went to. So these kind of issues should not happen. So the government stepping away from the day-to-day temple management is very important. But at the same time, one of the reasons why this government taking over temples happened over time was that the trustees and the people who are managing it, some of them were into this kind of mismanagement and lack of governance and so on. So the government took over. So that also has to be taken into account. We have to come up with regulations, governance structures so that the temples are managed properly. Another thing at a micro level, which Giresh ji also indicated, I've lived in the US for almost 2 decades now. I've seen many churches in the US where the faith is falling. The people are, less and less interested in the Christianity and whatever they are doing on a day-to-day basis. And I've at least seen two churches which were taken over by our friends and converted into temples. And how did this happen? This happened because of two factors. One factor is that the reduced or diminishing faith of the people who are following those churches. Secondly, the prosperity of the Hindus who were living there. So I've seen this in 2 different cities I lived in. Now, just taking this back home here, the important thing is we have to, what you also talked about the community thing. We have to come as a community together and support the temples. And not because it's not like a charity, we are doing it for our own heritage and our own culture and our own ancestors and so on. So this thing has to be there, because I've seen that, again, comparing different countries. I alluded to a study that I'm doing on comparing different countries. So there we do have, in terms of numbers, in terms of population numbers, believers, we have a lot of them. But in terms of the heritage sites that we have across the country, in terms of the temples that have been existing for many centuries, there are many. And we only know the tip of the iceberg. We only know the very famous temples, but we don't know many temples who have enormous historical significance, enormous cultural value, but they are not being taken care of. But if we really take care of them, if we do some kind of awareness creation, promotion and so on, like you said about the communities who are associated with those temples, if they get in and if they are engaged from across the world, that can be a game changer for the economic activities in those regions. And luckily, every village, every town in this country has at least 1 or 2 historical temples, right?
Sure.
So this can be an engine for economic growth. Although I completely agree with Sandeep ji on the fact that you cannot confuse the purpose of temples, purpose of mandir is not economic. But in order to sustain that, like when you think about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, so artha is very important. And it's important to sustain these practices and so on. So, and that is also adding to what you said.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that insight. I wanted to ask this question to everyone, apparently, whoever would want to take it up, and we'll then open it for a Q&A because we are running behind time and this topic is beyond time. So the idea is that let's take it. So sir, can you tell me primarily what are the changes or what is the impact that you see temple economy and your specialization? This quickly goes for a minute for everyone. Question is, आप यहाँ पे क्या problem solve कर रहे हैं? क्या impact आपका काम temple economy में देगा? और आने वाले समय में आपकी वो क्या insights हैं जो हमें सबको incorporate करके लेना है temple economy को और strong बनाने के लिए? So we have a one minuter for all of us.
So to make mandir economy strong, we must make mandir strong. And to make mandir strong, I have a very simple solution. That's the name of my second volume. Mandiron ke liye ek dashak, or a decade for mandirs. So it doesn't matter whether you are 70-year-old or a 30-year-old. It doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor. Doesn't matter whether a male or a female. Just dedicated next 10 years of your life to mandir. And what will you do? So in a volume I talk about 35 things, but the simplest and smallest thing that I keep telling people is that we Hindus must start visiting a mandir every day. Most of the Hindus don't do even that. And I'll tell you the larger scale implication. There's the most simple thing one can do. If you do everything every day, a change from 1 point to 1.01, in a year you are 37 times better. If you reduce your effort from 1 to 0.99, in a year you are weaker by 1500 times. It's mathematically proven thing. So that's such an important small thing. If every Hindu, 50 crore Hindus start going to mandir every day, all our problems will be solved. That's a simple thing we need to do. Thank you.
I'll move a little away from what Sandeep ji said. I would like to see my work being used, or my evidence research, as we call it, evidence-based research, is to actually understand how temple works within a community, within a town. And there are a number of ways that we need to think about temple as a center, but there's a very strong surrounding area that needs to be connected to the temple. So temple economy cannot survive in isolation, not in vacuum. It has to engage local community. So how can we bring that sense of identity, sense of heritage, sense of belonging of the community to the temple? Because unless they do that, they're not going to visit the temple. That's a problem. So first we have to solve the issue of temple belonging to a community. Right now, temple is like a shopping mall. On one side, whenever we want to visit and spend money and come back. But can you make temple as a center stage of your town, of your village, of your community, and then nourish the town? Thank you.
And I would like to continue with what you just mentioned. So there is a scheme in the government called One District, One Product, which is basically promoting a product that is native to that district and then promote across the world. The same way, there should be something like one district, one temple, like or maybe one village, one temple. Like each village has to have a champion, or champion is a very modern word, but a temple that is that captures the essence of that village, right? So, and that is how it was there many centuries ago. Like every village, every town had a temple as a center stage there, and the entire economy, entire cultural ecosystem was surrounding that. So I would like to see that happen more and more, and all of us should work on that and promote our temple, like the Kuladevata. And
I'm a core technology person, so I'll just tell two things to everyone here. The world is changing, and we have to be where the word is. You would all be spending a lot more time on a WhatsApp, YouTube. If the word has moved online, so should all the institutions who are sitting here, they should also as well. Be it your presence, or be it your services, be it providing information, all of this, find a medium, but you have to be there. Because the question is, let's say we look at people who are there, who are your audiences or who are believers. The question is not connecting at all or connecting with some medium. If we want the next generation to be connected and intact, we have to choose the later, which is, it's fine if they are not connecting at all is not fine. They have to connect at whatever medium we can create for them. And that would be we have been doing work on that particular space, and we'll be happy to help, assist, develop specific solutions to help this community here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am truly grateful for your insights and the guidelines that you've given. We may feel that we had a short discussion, but trust you me, the kind of national, international media, social media, and the content media is watching us. They are capturing each and every word that we've spoken. And I'm sure this will percolate in a large way to create a domino effect. I would now go back to y'all for the top 3 or 4 questions. If you want to ask, yes please, if we have the mic to be given to the gentleman there and also at the back. My only request, let it be a question and not a theory. Thank you.
अभी सर ने कहा कि हर जगह मंदिर का कनेक्शन होना चाहिए समाज के अंदर में। तो मंदिर अगर हमारे व्यक्ति के जीवन में जो समस्या है उसका समाधान का उपाय अगर कर दे तो हर लोग मंदिर से जुड़ेगा, प्रतिदिन मंदिर जाएगा, उसको सलूशन मिलेगा। और उसका एक एग्जाम्पल हम बता रहे हैं। हर कोई चाहता है हमारे घर में एक संस्कारी बच्चा पैदा हो, लेकिन कैसे गर्भ संस्कार के माध्यम से हम संस्कारी बच्चा पैदा कर सकते हैं, इसकी विधा अगर हर मंदिर देना शुरू कर दे तो हर आदमी के जीवन से मंदिर जुड़ेगा और उसका समाधान मिलेगा।
जी, आपका सवाल क्या है? जी, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन प्लीज। थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक यू वेरी मच। हाँ जी, पीछे वहां पे भाई साहब आप कुछ बोल रहे थे वहां पे। हाँ बताइए, बट सवाल चाहिए।
माई सेल्फ मेहुल शाह। सवाल से ज़्यादा एक मतलब कुछ जानने की उत्सुकता है कि मंदिर हमारे जीवन में या यूथ के जीवन में क्या वैल्यू एडिशन करता है, उसके बारे में यहाँ पैनल में जो कोई बैठे हैं वो बताएंगे तो एक कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो जाएगा।
सो आपका सवाल यह है कि मंदिर हमारे जीवन में क्या वैल्यू ऐड करता है, ये आपका सवाल है। Anyone wants to take it or should I take it? Can I? You want to add? So जब मंदिर की बात करते हैं तो मंदिर हम क्यों जाते हैं? हम लोग बहुत स्वार्थी लोग हैं। हम मंदिर जाते हैं अपने स्वार्थ को साधने के लिए। कितने बार आप और हम जाके मंदिर में भगवान को पूछते हैं कि क्या आप खुश हो? इतने दिन से खड़े हो, क्या आप बैठने की मन कर रहा है आपको? ये तो आप और हम नहीं सोचते। हम केवल अपना स्वार्थ लेके मंदिर जाते हैं, परमार्थ के पास जाते हैं और उसी के साथ में ये सोचते हैं कि ये मेरा लंबा चौड़ा लिस्ट है, ये कोई भगवान, कोई माँ, कोई देव, कोई देवता इसे हमारी अर्जी पास कर ले और हम हमारी ज़िंदगी की गाथा काट लें। पर उसी के साथ में हम ये भी सोचना चाहिए, जैसे सर ने कहा कि मंदिर उस समय ना जाएं जब इमरजेंसी है। मंदिर तब जाएं जो आपका डेली रिचुअल बन जाए, तो जिंदगी में आपके जिंदगी में इमरजेंसी ही ना आए। तो अगर आप उसको एग्री करते हैं तो मंदिर जाएं और ये वैल्यू ऐड आपकी ज़िंदगी में एक अलग बदलाव लाएगा। हम और आप कोशिश करते हैं कि यहाँ से तिरुपति से लेके काशी विश्वनाथ जी से लेके केदारनाथ जी से लेके अलग अलग स्थान जाए। हमारे घर के बाजू में भी एक मंदिर है। हमारे घर के बाजू में जो मंदिर है, जहाँ पे हम स्वार्थ लेके हनुमान जी के मंदिर शनिवार को तेल या शनि भगवान को तेल चढ़ाने जाते हैं, तो उस मंदिर में कोई सोमवार, मंगलवार या बुधवार जाके उसकी साफ सफाई भी करनी चाहिए। हम लोग सोचते हैं, एक दूसरे को पूछते हैं कि क्या आपने ये नया रेस्टोरेंट में ये खाना खाया, क्या आपने ये नया रेसिपी ट्राई किया, या जो भी नया नया चीज़ ट्राई करना था वो ट्राई किया। हम लोग कितने जन हैं जो पूछते हैं कितने नए मंदिर इस साल आप जाके आए? कितने नए मंदिर आप जाके इसको इनकॉर्पोरेट करें, आप एक दो तीन हाथ हैं वहाँ पे। कोशिश यही है, हम लोग मंदिरों से जुड़े हैं, हमारा स्वार्थ लोगों को दर्शन दिलवाना है, इनका स्वाद उस इकोनॉमी को बड़ा करना है, बट उससे भी ज़्यादा हमारा जो देह है, इस भूमि पे जब जितने समय है अच्छा कार्य करें। किसी ने पूछा क्या आप कुंभ में जाके स्नान करके आए इस बार? कितने बार करके आए? कितने लोग करके आए कुंभ में जाके स्नान? तो मुझे जब पूछा गया तो मैंने कहा कि अभी इतने पाप नहीं किए हैं कि जाके धोने पड़ेंगे, और बाकी जो जो करना है वो मैं यहाँ कर रहा हूँ। उसी के साथ में अगर कोई और एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है तो आप ले लीजिए।
Just very quick, just to summarize your point, there is कबीर का दोहा, दुख में समिरन सब करें, सुख में करे न कोई, जे सुख में समिरन करे, दुख काहे को होए।
आप सवाल बहुत अच्छा है, मंदिर क्यों जाएं? इस पे मुझे याद है मेरे ससुर जी का एक लाइन है, मैं इतना विश्वास नहीं करता था लेकिन इतना लाइन है, ओनली वन। अगर आप उसके सामने खड़े नहीं हो हाथ जोड़ के, तो उसको पता कैसे चलेगा कि आपको दया करनी है? वो पड़ोसी पे दया कर देगा। अगर आप पे दया करनी है तो आपको जाना पड़ेगा ना, नहीं तो किस पे दया करेगा? अगर आप भगवान के पास खड़े रहोगे तो आपका ध्यान रखेगा, बाहर जाओगे तो कैसे ध्यान रखेगा? सिंपल सी बात है।
A big thank you.
No, so the question was that how does mandir helps in the life? So actually, if you look at, and I've documented in the book, there is nothing in your life which is not touched because of the mandir. The clothes, the philosophy, the science, the mathematics, the flowers, the food, the astronomy, geometry, architecture, anything, metallurgy you think, Hindu civilizations, all this comes from our mandir. If there is no mandir, we might lose all of it. Thank you.